And speaking of Big T, if you haven't listened to Thurl Bailey's new podcast, Thurl Talk, you can listen or download it at KSLSports.com and on Google Play or Apple Podcasts. Here's a sample from his latest episode with his old Jazz coach, the legend, Frank Layden.
I want to bring up the name Adrian Dantley.
Hey, we got to get this on camera.
I mean, Adrian obviously was a great, great player.
Here's Dantley.
A wonderful player who I knew the longest.
Yes.
I knew Adrian when he was a high school player.
Yeah.
And then I knew him when he played with the Buffalo Braves and brought him over to my camps and stuff like that. I would say this: if I look back at my career, were there things I would change? Were there things that I knew were wrong or what have you? I think I handled the referees very poorly.
The guy didn't even let the ball go. Start the clock.
I think I was too confrontational. In the beginning, I thought I was defending our team and adding an element to it that we didn't have, and that was fighting and being tough and all that. But when I kept it up, it was too much. Now, if I could have undo that, I would have. The other thing is, the Dantley situation was totally my fault.
There is no one player that is so important.
I was the adult, I was the parent, and I should have resolved this. All right, and I could have resolved it. And his agent was a tough guy. He was a tough guy to get along with, but it was workable, and I didn't do it. And as a result, we probably didn't get the Adrian Dantley we could have.
Right.
I mean, we were pretty good. Now, letting him go.
Cadleys and Philadelphia leads, but Dantley will get it back. He does.
Probably didn't hurt Carl. And
Malone, left to right, running room, slam dunk. Oh, baby, count it, and he's fouled.
Because, they were both up and what have you. We ended up with Karl Malone being the third high scorer in the league history. But I think there was a room for both of them. And we could have made it work out, and I didn't do it. So that was my mistake. That was. I mean, I made a lot of mistakes, but that certainly was one of them. Yeah, if I had to do it over again, I would have handled that a lot differently. I tried to make it up to him when we heard that the reason he wasn't getting into the Hall of Fame was because he didn't get his number retired with the Jazz.
Right.
Well, we took care of that. Right. Someone came to me, and Larry Miller or somebody said, well, "What do you think? What do you want to do with him?" Larry didn't like him at all. Sam Battistone loved him. I says, "Of course, let's retire his number. Let's get him in here. Let's honor him." I said, "That's water over the bridge. It's gone." The guy, you can't deny he was a great player.
Cannot.
And he could have been in the Hall of Fame. Really, based on a lot of things, he was College Player of the Year. He was high scorer of the nation.
Yeah.
He was a gold medal winner in the Olympics. And a pretty good guy, I think. He was all right.
Yeah, if you got to know him, you had to kind of break some barriers.
Boy, that's great stuff, and you can continue listening to that on KSLSports.com, getting those two together. Those are the stories. That team I grew up with, that was when I fell in love with the Utah Jazz, and to hear those stories is just, I love it. So go check it out. All right, up next, the best of the week.
Yeah, not many games this week, but that doesn't mean we don't have great video, because we do.
Oh, that's a flop. We hope he's okay after this. And this shot never gets old. Kevin Nixon for the win next.